having are keeping you situations that you don't want to be in, keeping you in negative mindsets that you need to break, stopping you from being productive and being best version of yourself. Some of you guys haven't even given yourselves the opportunity to show up the best way that you can because of the thoughts that you have and the things that you think and say about yourself. If you know that you don't speak good about yourself, we're clapping. We're clapping. If some of you guys know that you don't speak good about yourself or have good thoughts towards yourself, you got to do something about it. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the same situations that you're in because your thoughts become actions. You want better for yourself, speak to yourself in a better way to get the good results that you want, right? What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl Shan. Welcome back to Shan Talks. Now, if you don't know who I am and you're new here, my name's Shan and I speak about everything motivation, inspiration, mental health, and everything just to help you to become the better version of yourself. So if you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe because we have fun over here and we're a family, okay? That would be really cool, wouldn't it? Everyone that subscribes, you are now my cousin. You are now my cousin. Hey, cuz. Yeah, welcome to the family. Because I know some people watch these videos and don't subscribe. Like, I get it, you might not have an account, but make one. And that way, anytime I make a video, it will come up in your feed. You can turn on your notifications so you get an alert anytime I do a video. Like, don't you want to be the first cousin to watch the video? This is so freaking cool. Guys, I've come to speak to you today about the power of your words, okay? And being careful about what you say about yourself. Being careful about the thoughts that you have and the things that you say about yourself, because it's so important to take note and to take inventory as to what you're thinking. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because you lot don't listen. Because you've heard this before. If you haven't heard it before, then I'm so sorry, but I feel like you've heard it before, but I feel like you're not taking it serious and you're not taking control over the thoughts that you have. Okay, cool. So as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. As you think in your heart, so are you. What do you think about yourself? On a day-to-day basis, what do you think about yourself? And sometimes you might not even realize the thoughts that you have in. You might not even be taking note as to the thoughts that you have in. But it's so important to take inventory, and I encourage you to start to do that and to become more aware of the thoughts that you have in, because the thoughts that you have determine the person that you are. Okay, so what are you thinking? Are you thinking that you are not good at anything? Are you thinking that you won't be successful at anything? Are you thinking that anything you do will have a bad outcome? Do you think that no one wants to be your friend? Do you think that you're not worthy enough or you're not special enough? Like, what are you thinking? Do you think that you're not going to be anything good in life? Because if you're thinking it, that's exactly what it's going to be. That's exactly what it's going to be. And I think some people take it very lightly in terms of the thoughts that they have about themselves. I've worked in mental health. I've coached and supported hundreds of people with their emotional well-being and their mental health. Now, there is a common theme about the thoughts that people have about themselves and how it makes them feel inside. Okay, it don't make you feel good when you have thoughts that aren't uplifting, they're quite negative towards yourself. It don't make people feel good. Okay, when you think about it, thoughts can give somebody anxiety. Thoughts can cause somebody to commit suicide. Thoughts can cause people to push others away. Thoughts can determine whether someone starts a business or not. Thoughts can cause you to think something that's not true. Thoughts can cause so many things. The power of the mind is a battlefield. You have to protect your mind. In other words, you have to protect your mental health. You have to protect everything that's going up in here. When you think about it, you might go to the gym and work on your physical health. But what about your mental health? What about the thoughts that you are having? If you look at it as a diet, what's your mental diet like? What are you feeding your mind? What are you telling yourself? Are these words uplifting? Are these words supporting you to be the best version of yourself? And some of you guys haven't even given yourself the best opportunity to function the best way that you could possibly show up. Some of you guys haven't even given yourself best chance at life. Some of you guys have no confidence. Some of you guys have low self-esteem. Some of you guys don't think that you're anything special. Some of you guys don't want to be here right now and have thoughts of suicide and taking your own life, not even seeing the point of life, to the point you've pushed people away because of the thoughts that you have about yourself. I think one of the reasons why people struggle to work on the thoughts that they have, work on their mind, work on their mindset and a perception of themselves is because it requires effort. It requires you to go against the grain and come out of your comfort zone and work on the thoughts that you have, and it takes practice, and it doesn't happen overnight, but with practice and reprogramming your brain and the thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis, it does become easier when you are faced with an opportunity to speak negative towards yourself and say, actually, you know what, I'm not going to be good anyway, or what's the point, because no one likes me anyway, or I'm not good enough. You have to go against those thoughts and say something to counteract that. I would never ever downplay anyone's mental health or the thoughts that you have, but ultimately you have to look at the brain as a muscle, and the more you practice speaking positive, having positive thoughts about a situation and finding the positive in every situation, then it'll become easier. Before you know it, you will have a positive outlook on life. And don't get me wrong, things will happen in life which might shake you and which might cause you to feel a bit down, but you don't stay there, okay? You don't stay there. Everybody has problems in life and things will come your way, but overall you're not a negative person that speaks down and really horrible to yourself, because you don't want to do that. It serves you no good, it serves you no purpose being that way. I've said it before. So the thoughts that you have and the words that you say about yourself, if you was to use those same words and have those same thoughts towards the person that you care about most, whether that be a friend, a family member, or someone that you're really, really close with, would that person still be your friend? Would that person still see you as a nice person or still want to be in contact with you? Probably not. Okay, we can be really, really hard on ourselves, and the thoughts that we have towards ourselves aren't uplifting, aren't positive, and can be quite negative, and we can be our own worst critics. The amount of people that listen to particular songs or particular genre of music when they're feeling sad or upset or down, okay, because you can relate to the words of the music, okay? Obviously you've got the melody and the beat and everything else, but the power of the words, you know, girls, I know some of you guys have been sad and you put on a slow jam and it makes you feel worse. Sometimes we get a little bit emotional. What do you do when you're emotional? What do you do when you're sad? Put on a slow jam. You put on a slow jam, you make it worse, and you listen to the music, you listen to the words, you sing along to the words because you can relate. Guess what? You start crying even more. Don't tell me you haven't done it. Have you done it? I've done it. We all do it. We all do it. Jump in the car, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Yeah, but you circle the block 8 times. That same slow jump on repeat. Why? Because you can relate to the words. You can relate to the words. So no one tell me that words aren't powerful. Okay? Because you're not listening to drum and bass or garage when you're feeling emotional. You're listening to a slow jam. So you can cry a little bit more. You know what I'm trying to say? When things haven't gone the way that you want it to go. You just put on that song because she gets it. She gets it. Do you know what I mean? For some people, you probably never even paid any attention to the thoughts that you have or the words that you say. Thoughts that you have and the words that you say ultimately determine the decisions that you make, and the decisions that you make ultimately determine the life that you have. So if you want to be better, if you want to feel better, if you want to have a better life, if you want to attract new relationships, new friendships, new people, and feel positive and uplifting and see the good in every situation, you've got to change your thoughts. You've got to change your thoughts, okay? And the way that you do that is by exposing yourself to new information, being open to new information. So whether that be a podcast, whether that be reading more, so you can begin to apply some of the things that you're being exposed to, or having a change of perception on some of the things that you currently think. And also as well, you can do affirmations, okay? So affirmations are positive things about yourself and your life. On the front of my screen on my phone, I have my affirmations saying I am confident, I attract money, I am beautiful, I am productive, I have self-control. I have all these things on my screen. Every time I wake up and I turn off my alarm, I see them, okay? So every time I unlock my screen, I see them. I'm reprogramming my mind every day so I can be the person that I desire to be, okay? Don't you desire to be great? Don't you desire to be the best that you can be? Don't you desire the best for yourself? So the life that you have right now and the way that you view yourself and the way that you feel about yourself is a result of the words that you've been using. There is life and death in the power of the tongue. So that means that whatever words come out your mouth, whatever words you're using towards yourself or about your life, expect to see results. Whether that's for good or for bad, whether that's positive or negative, expect to see some sort of results, okay? But some of you have a lack of confidence and don't believe that you can achieve some of the things that you've set out to achieve or you want to achieve. So you don't see the point of speaking positive because you don't see any hope in your situation. You don't think that it's possible for you, but why not? Why not? Like, who told you that you can't achieve what you want to achieve, or be the person that you want to be? Who told you that? And some of the thoughts that we have stemmed from childhood, from what family members have said, from what you've heard at school. Maybe your parents or those that were looking after you spoke down to you, were really negative, were really horrible, okay? But that doesn't mean that you have to continue perceiving yourself as the way that you currently are. And that's the great thing about the mind. You can change your mind, you can work on your mind, you can work on your mental health and become more confident. It's not just going to happen. You're not just going to be a positive person. You're not just going to wake up and start to think differently. You have to put the work in, okay? You have to find words to counteract the things that you're currently saying and thinking. So if you say, I'm not good enough, I will never be this, I'm bad with money, I'm bad with this, wants to be my friend and I have nobody, what can you say to counteract that? You can say, I'm confident, I am confident. And even if you don't feel it right now, being positive and speaking uplifting words towards yourself is not about feelings, it's about where you want to be and what it's going to take for you to get there. The same energy that it takes to be negative, the same energy that it takes to speak down to yourself, why not use that energy and then words to speak positive towards yourself and to speak uplifting words? Why not? It takes more energy to speak negative to yourself, because then you don't feel good, then you have a bad day, and then you play victim and think that people are against you, when actually you're probably against yourself. And you guys know that I like to share hints and tips with you how to put some of these things into practice. Now, one of the things that I do is I do voice recordings to myself, where I actually just speak to myself on my phone as a voice recording, and then I listen back to it maybe like a day later, and then a week later, and then a couple of weeks later, because that way it helps me to hear what's really going on in my head. Because when you think about the thoughts that we have come at 1,000,000 miles per hour. We have so many thoughts throughout the day that it's really difficult to kind of take note as to what our current thought patterns are. And sometimes we don't realize that we think a particular way. Sometimes we don't realize that we're really negative. Sometimes you don't realize that actually you are the toxic one. You might not realize that you haven't got confidence, or you haven't got any self-esteem, or you do speak to yourself in a way that's not uplifting. Until you do something where you can log and take inventory as to what thoughts you're having, you're not really going to be aware. So like I said, I do voice recordings. I will record myself for as long as I need to and just speak until I can't speak no more. Try it, guys. Try it, because it will help you to become more self-aware as to what's going on in your head. And listen back to it. You'll be so surprised. You'll be so surprised. It helps you to get to know yourself better, okay? And you listen back to it and you think, oh my gosh, like, is that really what I was saying? Is that really how I was feeling? Is that really the thoughts that I was having at that moment? It's such a useful tool. I've tried it with the people that I've supported in the past, okay? You can try voice recording. You could try journaling. If you're into music, like, you know, do music, get in the studio, find a way to log your thoughts. I love journaling. Write down everything that you're thinking. People say, oh well, how do you journal? Just write. Just write. There's no strategy, just write. Okay, right now I've got the pen in my hand, sitting in my living room, and this is the way that I feel right now. Just start writing. And some of you guys don't have the best thoughts, the best mental health, because your brain's overloaded with thoughts that you've been having for months and years. Overthinking about the same situations, taking on more stress, taking on more problems, but you never finding a way to offload, okay? Now, you know, I always advocate for everyone to go therapy, everyone to have some counselling, everyone to have someone to speak to. But if that is not an option, or it's something that you don't want to do, having something that's within your reach and within your means to do at home, in your private space, everyone should have that. Everyone should have that. You need to view journaling, voice recording, I need to view all these things as a dumping ground. I need to dump some thoughts. I need to dump this bike. Quickly, man. You need to look at these things as a dumping ground. Make a regular habit of dumping the thoughts out of your head onto paper, into a voice recording, the same way you dump your bins. Make it a habit, make it a part of your mental health routine, your self-care routine, to dump your thoughts and listen back, read it back, and that will be a good indicator as to what your thought patterns are, the way you think on a day-to-day basis, okay? You need to know. It's going to determine how you show up in life. how you show up when opportunities are presented to you, how you're going to show up in relationships, friendships, family, all the rest of it, okay? It's a good indicator, because you might be the toxic one. You might be the one that's causing problems. You might be the self-destructive one. You might be the one that ruins everything. You actually might be the most positive one at the bunch, okay? But this is about becoming self-aware as to who you are, like who you are. Start to say, I can, I will, I am, instead of all the things that go against that, to counteract the thoughts that you're having. The thoughts that sound like low self-esteem, the thoughts that sound like suicide, the thoughts that sound like anxiety and depression. Counteract those thoughts. Exercise your brain to become more resilient and not to crumble at anything that happens externally, not to crumble at anything that someone says to you. Strengthen your mind to become more resilient. I want you to be the best version of yourself, and I know I say this in all my videos, it's because it's true. This is why I'm doing these videos, to help somebody. I recognize that you guys have been speaking for a while. My water's finished and I'm getting hot, so I'm passionate about this subject because I've supported so many people that speak really horrible to themselves and haven't realized that it's them. They haven't realized that it's them that's the issue. It's their thoughts that are the issue, okay? Like I said, start to say, I am, I can, I will. And that's not to say you're better than anybody else or beneath anybody else, but give yourself the best opportunity at life by working on the thoughts that you have and the things that you say about yourself. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Guys, if you didn't get that, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to watch it again. Maybe you need to read a book. But like I said, it's going to take practice. It's going to take practice. It's going to take practice. I don't usually say this, but I've actually got to go. I've just checked the time and I'm like, oh my gosh. But if you want to be cousins, you have to subscribe. I'm so sorry. Like, if you don't subscribe, anyone that subscribes to this channel, you are officially my cousin. So I will introduce you as cousins. I've always wanted more cousins. So guys, subscribe. This is so cool. Subscribe. If you don't subscribe, don't you dare message me or see me or comment and say, hey cuz, because I will check. YouTube will tell me. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I hope you've taken something from it. I know you had a good time over here. We have fun over here. I want the best for you guys. I love you guys. Like, you know how we do. It's all love. You like want me to sit here and do videos all the time. Like, I ain't got things to do. I'm late now. But you know what? You're my cousins, so I'll just say I was with family. Holla!